Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
the podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411 about Aiden Spencer.
The youngest of the Spencer boys. Wrapping it up.
Yep, the youngest of Liz's kids. And he is currently being played by Jason David. I am using generalhospitalfandom.com for my resources. And I did watch
Of course
YouTube.
You did.
There was some really good, it was Jonathan Jackson time.
Mm-hmm.
I watched YouTube. I'm
sorry. And he would have been a cute baby.
Yes.
I would listen. Yes. I would watch baby stuff all day long, too.
So Aiden Spencer is a fictional character on the ABC soap opera General Hospital, the show that you watch. He is the son of Lucky Spencer and his ex-wife, Elizabeth Weber. He was formerly believed to be the son of Prince Nicholas Cassadine. He is half-brother of Cameron and Jake, and the first biological grandchild of super couple Luke and Laura Spencer, although he was still Laura's grandson when Nicholas was dad.
Exactly.
So, yep. He was born on screen on July 19th, 2010, and Rebecca Herbst, who played Elizabeth, was pregnant in real life,
which is cute,
with her little boy during the time of her pregnancy, so it was written into the show. And that's how we got Cam, too.
Yes.
So she went on maternity leave on August 26, 2010, and returned October 13th, 2010. So he was born before she actually...
He was a month
premature. That's right.
Yeah.
So that falls in line. And he was portrayed at first by twins Adrian and Brett Ritter from 2010 to 2011. And twins Maximo and Finbar portrayed Aiden in 2011. And then Titus Jackson, the real-life son of Jonathan Jackson, who portrayed Aiden's on-screen father, Lucky, portrayed Aiden from 2011 to 2012. And he's currently being portrayed by Jason David, who debuted on August 3rd, 2012. So that's probably when... Did they age him up because he's 9? I feel like he's 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just had a birthday, right?
Yeah.
And that was his 9th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So his full name, though, his birth name was Aiden Alexei Nikolosevich Cassadine, and he was named for Alexis and Nicholas.
Oh, cute.
Are his two middle names. Those are his namesakes. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that he had two middle names, and I didn't know that one of them was for Alexis. I feel like that was probably mentioned at some point.
I'm sure.
But as we will get into in a second, there was a lot of other stuff going on with this kid. So
just a little.
Kind of went in one ear, not the other. So a little bit of background. When Elizabeth initially found out that she was pregnant, Lucky had just broken off their engagement because he discovered that she was having an affair with his brother, Nicholas. So she's not sure who the dad is, and the stress takes a toll on her. She has a complete mental breakdown, tries to kill herself by jumping off the hospital roof, but Lucky actually stops her, and she admits herself to Shady Brook and is threatened by Helena Cassadine, who intends to take Elizabeth's baby and raise it as a Cassadine heir. So Elizabeth actually has the paternity test done, and Lucky is revealed to be the father of her unborn baby on March 16th, 2010, but Helena has the results switched so that it shows Nicholas is the father. Helena wants to get revenge on the Spencers for killing her husband, because that's her whole life, and decides to end them by raising the baby as a Cassadine and bringing down the Spencers with one of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So she was going to turn Aiden against them and have him take them down. And it didn't happen. Elizabeth is disappointed when Nicholas is determined to be the father, even though she knows the odds were in his favor. Initially, she keeps hoping that she can get Lucky back after he rescues her from Helena several times. When she realizes Lucky is never going to come around, she mends her relationship with Nicholas and offers to let him be there in the delivery room helping her give birth. Nicholas is grateful and lets Elizabeth know that he appreciates her for letting him be a part of the new baby's life. So when the truth about Aiden's paternity is revealed to all in June of 2011, Lucky and Elizabeth decide to raise both of their children together, and they do until Lucky leaves town. And then it goes into 2013, which you will cover later.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it mentions it in yours, so I am just going to throw this in there because we talk about it. In 2015, it was revealed that Aiden and Lucky have Skype dates.
Yes.
Is that in your stuff?
I don't know. I know
Okay.
I read it somewhere, so
Okay.
I don't know if I was just
Well,
ahead
if you
of it,
mention
but
it, then I will edit that out.
whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was just his background.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to when Aiden was born on screen, July 19th, 2010, to Elizabeth Weber and Nicholas Cassadine. Elizabeth goes into premature labor, as you mentioned, while at Windermere with Nicholas, her two sons, Cameron and Jake, and Nicholas's son, Spencer. She is rushed to the hospital and gives birth to a baby boy on July 19th, 2010, with Nicholas by her side. The two of them bond with their son, whom they name Aiden because Elizabeth likes the name. Do we need to know that?
There's a lot of baby boys. When it comes time for Carly to have this baby, it should be a girl.
Yeah.
There's been a lot more boys than girls. Right?
Yeah.
Charlotte's the youngest girl.
Well, I was going through, I'm like, Emma's
Emma's
Joss.
yeah.
And Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. And then Avery.
Avery, yes.
But besides Avery,
Yeah.
Wiley and...
Jonah.
No. Wiley and Maxie's baby and Brad's baby. They need a little girl to play with.
We do need a little girl.
I think that Carly needs to have a girl.
Yes.
Totally off topic. But that just, as you said, another boy's name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's too many
But
boys.
Liz is a good boy mom.
And she is a good
I don't
boy
know if she'd
mom,
be
but
able to
she
handle
has
a girl.
lots of boys.
She has 3.
Lots of
As we're wrapping up today.
Very many. Too many.
The two of them bond with their son, Aiden, blah, blah, blah. Lucky Spencer comes by the delivery room while Elizabeth is in labor, but slips away unnoticed by either of them. Aiden and Elizabeth are discharged the next day, but when Nicholas goes to get Aiden from the nursery, he's not there, and the nurses are not sure where he went either. Lucky is called to the hospital, which goes on lockdown because this is when he was a detective. So I think that's why they called him. I don't think they called him just because.
Right, because you wouldn't want those things to mesh together.
No.
Conflict of interest.
At first, Nicholas, Lucky, and Elizabeth suspect Helena, but it's later revealed that serial killer and artist Franco is the one who took the baby. Lucky enlists fellow officer Dante Falconeri and Jason Morgan, with whom Franco is obsessed, to rescue Aiden. And this is when Dante and Jason went out to LA for Francophenia, or whatever it was. And Franco brings Aiden to his mom, who's actually James Franco's real mom. I love how the things that we've discovered in the past are all tying in. And Jason and Dante, with the help of Spinelli, managed to track down Franco to Oregon. I'm sorry, he wasn't in LA. Why did I think he was in LA? He's in Oregon?
No, the art show was in LA.
Okay.
His mother lives in Oregon.
Okay, yes. Dante gives the information to Lucky, who heads to Oregon, while Jason is sent back to Pentonville to serve out a 5-year sentence. Dante tries to keep Jason out of prison so he can help find Franco and baby Aiden. Lucky gets to Oregon and finds Karen and Aiden with Spinelli's help. Lucky initially tries to gain access as a census taker, but he eventually reveals that he is a police officer and that Aiden was kidnapped. In order to make Karen believe him, Lucky claims that he is Aiden's father and asks Karen to do the right thing and let him take Aiden home to his family and his mother. Karen eventually gives the baby back. On the plane, Lucky holds Aiden and tells the baby that sometimes he wishes that Aiden was his son and not his brother's. Even though he does not want a relationship with Elizabeth anymore, he still has no idea that Aiden is really his son. And this was something that I watched on YouTube. Go watch YouTube when Lucky is holding baby Aiden in his arms. It's the sweetest thing. He's just talking to him, and he tells him how crazy Helena is. He goes, "You got one really bad grandmother," or something like that. But on the other side, your other grandmother is awesome. So once he returns to Port Charles, Lucky returns Aiden to Elizabeth and Nicholas, who thank Lucky for finding him. Aiden then has a joyous reunion with his parents because he's a newborn and can have that much joy.
Yes.
With his parents and his brothers. When Nicholas hires Brooklyn as his professional escort, Elizabeth becomes jealous. Ew, that's disgusting.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Brooklyn's another girl, but she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
Serena.
Serena, I knew what you meant.
Yep. Ew. Mm. So Elizabeth begins going to Windermere with Aiden to visit Nicholas and arranges play dates for the three of them. One time she goes over and finds Brooklyn asleep in Nicholas's arms. Another time, after Nicholas and Brooklyn shared their first kiss, she comes over to see Nicholas and finds Brooklyn making plans for the night in Manhattan with Nicholas. When Nicholas comes in, Elizabeth tells him that she made a doctor's appointment for Aiden. Nicholas asks what's wrong, and she says it's probably just an ear infection. She tells him that it's not important, but he insists on coming with them. Brooklyn suggests the reason for Aiden being fussy is because Elizabeth is messing with his routine. Well, that does make babies fussy.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. But she's also a nurse, so she doesn't really have a routine.
Right.
So a non-routine is a routine for him. And he's like 2 months old.
I agree.
2 months old don't have routines.
And what does Brooklyn know about babies?
True. Nicholas and Elizabeth end up taking him to General Hospital, where Aiden's pediatrician tells them that Aiden is fine and is just cutting a tooth. Oh, this was 2011. I'm sorry. So he was like a year old. One day, Monica told Elizabeth that Aiden looked like Lucky when he was a baby. The next week, Elizabeth gets a second DNA test. In March 2011, which, how has no one told Michael the same thing?
I know.
In March 2011, when Elizabeth was reading the DNA results, confirming her suspicions, her other son, Jake, got hit by a car and died. Elizabeth, Lucky, and Jason were all heartbroken. Elizabeth didn't tell Lucky that he was the father of Aiden until June 2011, when GH was on lockdown, and Lucky was spiraling out of control after his father left town, and Lucky's wife, Siobhan, was hospitalized due to his mistake. Lucky was very happy, but Nicholas wasn't, because after she told Lucky, she went and told Nicholas that he was not the father.
At least she told him.
Yes. And right back to back.
Yes. Sometimes she lags in her information.
Yes, she does. Nicholas wasn't happy, and he refused to believe that it was true. He was about to leave and take the baby to Europe until he realized it wasn't fair to anyone and would reignite the Spencer-Cassadine War. Nicholas left with his other son, Spencer, and returned Aiden to Lucky and Elizabeth. The same day Nicholas left, Helena showed up to plant a seed of doubt in Lucky's mind about Aiden being his son. However, Lucky refused to listen to her, and she left. In March 2011, we're jumping all over the place. We're jumping back to March.
Okay.
We were in June. Now we're in March again. Aiden's older brother, Jake, was believed to have died after being hit by a car. In November 2011, Aiden is diagnosed with idiopathic thrombocytopenia purpura. I have no idea. After receiving a blood transfusion from his Aunt Lulu, Aiden fully recovers. I watched this too on YouTube. When he was finding out about this, like he had bruises and stuff all over his body,
Mm-hmm.
and they were actually questioning, could he possibly have been hit? And Stephen Lars was still alive, and he's like, Elizabeth would never hit her kids. And Monica goes, yeah, but she would neglect them.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks all about how Liz lets other people raise her children, that she's not the best mom. And
wow.
Yeah. But then Luke had brought Aiden to the hospital because Lucky was over in Ireland and for some reason thought that something was wrong with Aiden. So he called his dad, and Luke wound up bringing him to the hospital. I know.
Okay.
And Liz ripped him a new one because she's like, you better not have had a drink. Like Lulu let loose on him.
Good.
All this. I mean, it was really powerful. Check it out on YouTube. And then Lucky did leave town in December 2011, and Aiden has been living with Elizabeth full-time ever since. In 2012, Aiden spends time with his grandpa Luke. He is also seen at Kelly's with him, where he and his mom spend time with Jason Morgan. Elizabeth ends up freaking out, thinking that Aiden was choking, but it was a false alarm. Elizabeth admits that she gets nervous after what happened to Jake, and he later spends time with mom and Dr. Ewan Keenan. And that's all that they have to say. He only did 3 lines of stuff in 2012. So, and I did not continue to double check that. So I probably should have.
You're good.
Do you have an idea for a podcast but don't know where to start? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Anchor is such an easy way to record and edit a podcast, and you can do it from either your phone or computer. Best part is you don't have to worry about getting it out there. Anchor distributes to many platforms, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many more. You can start making money right away without having a minimum number of listeners, too. Anchor really is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place.
So I'll go from 2013 on, using the same thing, General Hospital fandom. In 2013, Aiden meets his grandma, Laura Spencer, when she returns to Port Charles, bringing gifts for Aiden and Cameron. He is later seen spending time with his uncle Nicholas. Aiden then attends his grandma's wedding to Scott Baldwin. He later bonds with Laura and his great-grandma, Leslie. He is then seen at the 4th of July picnic with his mother and A.J. Quartermain. Aiden also attended the General Hospital Halloween party 2013, dressed as Buzz Lightyear with his mom, brother, Cameron, and cousin Spencer.
He was a cute Buzz Lightyear.
He was. Aiden is finally seen again on the 4th of July 2015 with his mother, Liz, and Jason Morgan, a.k.a. Jake. On July 13th, Aiden is reunited with his father, and they talk about Lila's kids camp and Jason, a.k.a. Jake. Aiden is finally seen again on the 4th of July 2015 with his mother, Liz, and Jason Morgan, a.k.a. Jake. On July 13th, Aiden is reunited with his father, and they talk about Lila's kids camp and Jason, a.k.a. Jake. It was also revealed that Aiden's older brother, Jake, is alive.
This was Drew Kane, Jake?
Yes.
Okay.
On Halloween, Aiden is seen, we talked about this the other times. This is where he's the football player and the girls, and Liz is the cheerleader and whatever. So they all went trick-or-treating, and then he makes a comment about needing to hide his candy because Cameron had stolen it the year before.
Those big brothers.
Yeah. I mean, that's normal life with kids.
Mm-hmm.
In November, he's seen rehearsing what he's going to say at the wedding. Later on, he's seen getting ready with his brothers. Afterwards, Michael and Sabrina come to Elizabeth's house and pick up him and his brothers before they go. And then this again gets into the wedding where they're just making all kind of chaos and they don't want to sit still.
They want to go. Epiphany takes them for ice cream.
Exactly.
And it's a mess.
Yes. So
go back to Cameron Weber and Jake Weber.
Yes. A lot. I mean,
past 2 weeks.
With him being the youngest, a lot of the stuff that they talk about is stuff that the brothers did together. So, again, normal everyday life of that. On Thanksgiving, Elizabeth tells Monica that Aiden and Cameron decided to spend the day with her gram. On Christmas, Aiden and his brothers talk about what they want for Christmas. And again, same thing. They pull out the stockings. They don't know if Jason's going to make it there. And then he does show up with some presents, and they're all excited for that. Yay. And then they go to see Santa. On January 8th, 2016, Laura states that Aiden and Cameron are staying with Audrey. On February 4th, Jason brings Cameron to General Hospital to comfort his mother after Jake got hit by a car again. He tells Elizabeth that he would have brought Aiden too, but he was asleep. After his family's house blew up, he moved into Windermere with his mother and brothers, and then this just goes back and forth that he was at the Brownstone, and then he ended up at Windermere, and the whole visit to Shriners to see his brother, and that they played with Jake and Danny in the playroom and all of that. June 22nd, it was revealed that him and his family are now living at the Brownstone. Halloween 2016, Aiden, Cameron, Jake, and their mom went trick-or-treating, and then he and Cameron went to a party. December, Elizabeth takes Aiden, Cameron, and Jake ice skating. On Christmas Eve, Aiden is seen at GH with his brothers, his mom, Grandma Laura, Franco, Danny, and Monica. Afterwards, Aiden and the boys listen to Monica tell a Christmas story.
I feel like I've heard this before.
Yep. February 6th, Aiden is seen running into his mom's room saying that he's hungry. Then he notices Franco and asks if they are boyfriend and girlfriend. And his mom says yes. And then Aiden asks for pancakes.
Why didn't he just make them himself?
That's
why the kids started baking.
At that point, we didn't know. I wish my kids would start baking if I just refused to feed them.
That's when he started cooking. He was like, all right, mom's not going to feed me. I do it myself.
I'm going to try that philosophy. I'm not feeding you. Figure out how to bake all these elegant, wonderful things.
Pancakes are not elegant.
No, but
they are tough
to make some nice.
He does this.
Cupcakes and all that. So pancakes is the road to those cupcakes.
Pancakes is the road to cupcakes.
Never feed my kids again. In May, Aiden is seen at the park with his mom, brother Jake, and Franco. By 2018, he and Franco had become best friends and each other's favorite video gaming partner. In November, it's revealed that Aiden is being bullied by his cousin Charlotte. And then here is where I had to switch over to Soap Central.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Does Aiden know that Franco kidnapped him?
I don't think so.
I don't think he does either.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you bring that up at this point?
He's going to find out eventually.
He is.
They have the internet.
They do talk about that often, but I don't think that he's been told it.
Oh my gosh.
So that'll be exciting when he finds that out.
Yeah.
At a later date.
If Franco ever comes back.
Right.
Okay.
So anyway, I had to jump
continue.
over. You're fine. To Soap Central, and it picks up on October 18th, 2018. Liz and her fiance, Franco Baldwin, had a meeting with Aiden's teacher, Willow Tate, and that's whenever Willow expresses concerns over Aiden and how he tends to separate himself from the other children. Liz was shocked, and then it came out after that it was Charlotte that had been teasing him, and that's whenever they talk about kids calling him Gaiden and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But Charlotte insisted that she had only been trying to help Aiden by pointing out his flaws and that the other children picked on him too. The adults explained to Charlotte that her criticism had hurt and she apologized to Aiden. However, the damage had been done and Aiden continued to be tormented by his classmates. That was still in 2018. At home, Franco discovers that Aiden has a love for baking and a knack for creating delicious desserts. Franco encouraged Aiden to pursue his passion, and Aiden's brothers were equally supportive. Liz reached out to Lucas Jones, Brad Cooper, and her childhood friend Terry Randolph for insight on how to move forward with her son. Everyone around Aiden encouraged his uniqueness, but at school things remained difficult. On April 16, 2019, Cameron was suspended from school for getting into a fight with a classmate who had ridiculed Aiden for using homophobic slurs, referring to Aiden with that homophobic slur. Cameron defended his brother's honor, but he questioned why Liz couldn't talk to Aiden about acting a little less gay.
We talked about that.
We did.
Yeah.
And
he didn't mean it
right
in the way that it came out. He meant
it as a way to protect his brother, not as he cared what his brother was, one way or the other.
Yep.
Then after that, it would have been, that's where Soap Central ends, but after that, it would have been the reception for the Liz and Franco's wedding where he was seen singing with his brothers. And then the end of the year school party, he made all those cupcakes, which I guess were a success with his friends. They never really addressed that. We also talked about that. Yeah, we had said it should have been a big deal about it. He brought these yummy cupcakes and everyone should have praised him for that. They didn't really go into that. No. And then you didn't see him this summer except for his birthday party, which had a lot of kids there. So I'm hoping the new year means that kids are going to stop teasing him regardless of what he's thinking, feeling. He's a 9-year-old boy. I don't feel like it needs to be that much of a topic of conversation if he doesn't want it to be a topic of conversation. So just enjoy those cupcakes.
But the poor kid made his own birthday cake.
He did. He did.
Not the poor kid, the talented kid.
Yes.
Made his own.
Again, I wish my kids were this talented.
Yes.
So.
Well, and then it does have some adults in the background.
Probably. And they have commented on, now he knows about Franco and the whole memory transfer and all that. So he continues to make delicious treats for Franco and freeze them for when he comes back.
So I wonder why they don't use Aiden's treats, because I just read somewhere or heard somewhere, I don't know where, they use scents a lot to jog memories, because it's, I think it's, if you are, I think that they use it a lot for like Alzheimer's and dementia, that they will actually try to bring in those scents to help jog the memories.
Yeah.
Why don't they use Aiden's baking and maybe try to
trigger that to them?
I know. Hey, new writer or new co-head writer.
Right.
That got a promotion. And I forget your name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Use the baking.
Yes.
Don't drug him and put him in.
Maybe when he's in the crazy hospital, then Elizabeth will bring him some treats and that will start jogging his memory.
Yes.
You can bring some goodies.
Yeah.
So. There you go. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up Aiden. I don't know where we're going to go from here on out.
And so far he has not been aged up.
No. So, and knock on wood,
Cam's only been
aged
a year. And I don't think we discussed, was Jake aged at all?
I think it was only like a year or so. I think there was a slight difference, but I don't think it was anything huge.
Yeah, so that is it on Elizabeth's 3 sons. Wasn't it my 3 dads?
Yes.
My 3 sons. Elizabeth's 3 sons. So meet us on Monday when we do the weekly recap.
Yep. Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.